Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madanmohan, Radha Madanmohan, Radha. Jai Gauranithai, 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 Jai Gauranithai. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Labai Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप श्री मायपुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माँ यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशनल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। The most merciful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Madanmohan Shri Shri Gaunita Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani की जाए। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada की जाए। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28, entitled Puranjana Becomes a Woman in the Next Life. Text number 18. Is it 18? 18 on the board. Is it 18 or 19? Anyway, what is Smita Chaitanya? What is his name? Or who communicates to me? That's what. Because he communicated to me first 18, 19, and then he again communicated to me that it is 18. So that's why I'm asking again. So you're sure, right? That it is 18. Okay. Text number 8. Is it put on the board now? Okay. So text number 18. Lokantaram gatavati. Lokantaram gatavati. Maya natha kutumbini. Maya natha kutumbini. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Balakan anusochati. Balakan anusochati. Lokantaram gatavati. Maya natha kutumbini. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Balakan anusochati. Lokantaram gatavati. Maya natha kutumbini. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Balakan anusochati. Lokantaram gatavati. Maya natha kutumbini. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Balakan anusochati. Lokantaram gatavati. Maya natha kutumbini. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Balakan anusochati. Mataji. Lokantaram gatavati. Maya natha kutumbini. Vartishyate katham tvesha. Balakan anusochati. Loka antaram, into a different life. Gatavati, my, when I am gone. Anta, bereft of husband. Sorry, anatha, bereft of husband. Kutumbini, surrounded by all family members. Vatishyate will exist. Katham, how? Tu, then. Esha, this women. Balakan, children. Anusochati, lamenting about. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. King Purajana was anxiously thinking, alas, my wife is encumbered by so many children. When I pass from this body, how will she be able to maintain all these family members? Alas, she will be greatly harassed by thoughts of family maintenance. Please repeat. King Puranjana was anxiously thinking, alas, my wife is encumbered by so many children. When I pass from this body, how will she be able to maintain all these family members? Alas, she will be greatly harassed by thoughts of family maintenance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. All these thoughts of one's wife indicate that the king was overly engrossed with the thoughts of women. Generally, a chaste woman becomes a very obedient wife. This causes a husband to become attached to his wife, and consequently he thinks of his wife very much at the time of death. This is a very dangerous situation, as is evident from the life of King Puranjana. If one thinks of his wife instead of Krishna at the time of death, he will certainly not return home back to Godhead, but he will be forced to accept the body of a woman and thus begin another chapter of material existence. Om Jnanati Vrindasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarobhishya Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam bangam langaite giri metkrupatmaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. So they say the truth is bitter. So we can see that how by our material life is exposed through these chapters of King Puranjana. How Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna. I hold Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna.
Is it stable now? Can we leave it now? Or you are doubtful? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Can I continue? Okay. Or should I wait for some correction there? Okay. So King Puranjana's thinking is like that of any person who is attached to family life. Same thinking. What is the thinking? I become old. Now I'm about to die. And my wife is there. Children are there. Many children. He had many children. So how will she be able to maintain my children when I pass away? That is what is a motivating factor for anyone to earn money for his family in this world. Because the person is thinking, I am the maintainer, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, which is exactly opposite to his position. Krishna is the controller, Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the maintainer. But in illusion, everyone thinks that, if I don't maintain my family will be on the streets. What will happen to my wife? What will happen to my children? My wife will be very much in anxiety and tension and greatly aggrieved that, I have been left with so many children and, I have no means to maintain them. So she will be thinking. And the next, although it is not said, she'll be thinking, why did you leave me in this mess? Is what is the next thing. I don't know. These days, some, advertisements are coming. Policybazar.com. And husband's photograph, garlanded, stuck on the wall. Wife will be, looking at. Had you taken this Policybazar, I would not be left in this mess. Exactly what he's seeing. They're all the advertisements are coming from Bhagavatam only. So that is exactly what is today's verse is. The only fallacy in this advertisement is Policybazar is not going to save you. Krishna is going to save you. That's the only difference. So that anxiety is a very, very, deep anxiety a man goes through because all his life he worked for his family. Now he is near to death. Now the children are not settled. Because, if you go on begetting children till 80 years, 70 years, where will they be settled? Only first few ones will be settled probably. Others will not be settled. So there is that anxiety. And women are not expected to, run the family like that financially. Women are expected to run family in a different way. That they are supposed to take care of the household. They are supposed to, raise the children with great values. All these things, and assist in the husband's duties. So these are the general duties of a woman. And if a woman does these duties, that woman is considered to be chaste woman. And if a woman becomes chaste, husband will be attached to the woman. Who will not be attached to a chaste woman? So that is why women should not be chaste. Is that the message? No, that's not the message. The message is that women should be chaste. Man should be chaste to Krishna. Both men and women should be chaste. Women should be chaste to husband, and the husband should be chaste to Krishna. And that the line is proper. Otherwise, what happens? In anxiety, the man leaves the body thinking of what will happen to my wife, what will happen to my wife, what will happen to my wife. And he becomes a woman in the next life. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajantyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sadatad bhava bhavitaha. So, one should not be attached to anybody other than Krishna. If we become attached, of course, spiritual master, Guru and Krishna. When we say Krishna, it is understood. It's Guru and Krishna. One should not be attached to anyone other than Guru and Krishna. And if we are attached to anyone other than Guru and Krishna, there is a problem. And especially there is a problem, more problem, if we are attached to our family members. How can you not be attached to family members? How attachment develops? Attachment develops when you serve someone. Naturally, attachment develops. When you serve someone, especially selflessly, if you serve someone, attachment develops. So, it is very natural for a woman to be attached to the husband because she serves selflessly her husband and children, and she is expected to be attached. And if someone is not attached to her husband and children, it is something very, unheard of. Something very wonderful if a woman is not attached to her husband and children because she constantly serves them. Similarly, man is also attached to women and children because he also serves them selflessly. He works very hard, he earns money, he fulfills the requirements of the family, so he is attached. But then it is said that he is not supposed to be attached. How is that possible? If you are serving selflessly and not be attached, there is only one way out for this. That is, not serving the family members is not an option. Obviously. If I serve my family members, I will be attached, so I will become a detached grahastha. There is no concept called detached grahastha, where you become irresponsible and you don't actually, do your duties properly. That is not an option. Then what is an option? The option is that you have to serve your family members, but as Krishna's family. This wife is given to me by Krishna. These children are given to me by Krishna for me to care for them. So I will do everything possible to care for them and facilitate their faith in Krishna, facilitate their progress towards Krishna consciousness. This is what I will do. Then, with that mood, if we try to serve selflessly the wife and children, you will not be attached to the children and wife, you will be attached to Krishna. Because your primary source of inspiration to care for wife and children is Krishna. So that is why Krishna consciousness is the only process by which you can cut this material attachment. Chidhyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani chindante. This is cut. This material attachment is very, 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 very difficult to cut. We can speak very, greatly about these things. We can boast so many things, but every one of us know that we are very attached to our family members. And if anything happens to our family members, we will be in great anxiety. We will be in great unrest. And if anyone tries to harm our family members or tries to say anything to the family members, immediately you become like thunderbolt and try to say anything, do anything to them. Why? Because we are attached. We are attached to our family members. So that family attachment is very, very difficult to cut. Because that family attachment is born out of bodily consciousness. Great king like Parikshit Maharaj was so attached. Great king like Chitraketu was so attached to the son, that only son that he has got. He had married 10 million wives and he got one son. And he was greatly attached to that son. Because after a long time that he got one son, and that son was also killed by the other wives. The first wife gave that son to him. The remaining wives felt partiality is being shown by King Chitraketu, although he was not. It was natural for him to be attached to his wife who gave him a child. It is not unnatural. We have seen also in our social structure, when people have child with the wife, they are attached to the family. At least for the sake of the child, he will be attached to the wife. Although he may quarrel with the wife, but because she has produced a child, so he will be sticking with his wife. But if she does not produce a child, he may even give up that wife and look for another wife. So it is very natural for King Chitraketu to be attached to his first wife because she gave him a child. So all the other remaining wives became insecure. So they planned to kill the child and they killed the child. So Chitraketu was so much in anxiety, so much in distress, he was sobbing, he became unconscious seeing his only child dead because he got this child after a long time. Don't think that Chitraketu is just like any ordinary attached person like us. Chitraketu is a very, very, very great personality. Arjuna became very much bewildered and aggrieved to see Abhimanyu fell dead in the battle of Kurukshetra. And this did not happen before Bhagavad Gita Pravachan. After Bhagavad Gita Pravachan it happened. Isn't it? Bhagavad Gita happened on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and then after that Yuddha started, and then he saw his son dead. And then he was sobbing. So, family attachment is not uncommon. And in fact, if somebody is showing detachment from the family, you should suspect that person. Actually. Maybe artificially he is trying to show off. Inside actually he has a lot of attachment, but artificially he is showing off because that is not something which is appreciated outside in the society. So he is showing it off. So it is very natural that if your loved one is in distress, you will be in distress. Obviously you will be in distress. But solution is not go on lamenting for it. So although Chitraketu, here Puranjana, he is very much aggrieved that my wife has to bear this encumbrance. The word that is used is encumbrance. Encumbrance means, something which you have to pay off. That is called encumbrance. So what is the encumbrance that he has? His wife and children. Or his children are the encumbrance for his wife in his absence. Otherwise, he would be taking care. He would be leading to maintain the family by this way or that way, earning money and all that. But now the responsibility goes to the women now. In the Vedic system, such responsibility is only taken by the male person, and they do not give that responsibility to the women because it is considered to be disgrace on the part of the man to ask his wife to share responsibility for the maintenance of household and children. So that is why he is feeling. In the modern days, things have changed. Modern days, everything is sharing. I will pay the rent, you bring the ration. I will take care of the first fellow's education, you take care of the second fellow's education. This is what is sharing. And then they coin nice term, sharing is caring. What sharing is caring? Sharing is caring is contextual, not in every context. Not at least in the family maintenance context. So, King Puranjana is very, very anxious. And especially when you are anxious about someone and while you are leaving the body, there is great likelihood that you will remember that person when you are anxious. And that is why he became a woman in the next life. Because he was very anxious about his wife. Just like Jadabharata, Bharata Maharaj, he became a deer in the next life because he was very anxious about a deer. He was meditating in the forest. He was all the time thinking about Krishna, but his attention got diverted when he saw a helpless deer. The incident was that the pregnant deer who was chased by a tiger, and in great fear, the pregnant deer gave birth to a baby deer while jumping from one stream of water. She was jumping, and then in that process she delivered the baby deer and she left the body. So King Bharat Maharaj, he felt responsible. This happened in my presence. So because it happened in my presence, maybe I should take care of this deer. That is what is Krishna's indication. Had he consulted one saintly person about this, he would have been saved. He did not consult. He assumed that this is my responsibility to take care of this deer. So he took the deer to his ashram and he raised the deer. And all the time he is thinking whether he is eating or not, he is not bothered. Whether he is offering to Krishna or he is not bothered. He is all the time bothered about the deer, the deer, the deer, and deer. Deer became deer for him. So in this way, he was constantly thinking of deer, 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 and then at the time of death, he became deer in the next life because he was thinking of the deer. So this is a very, very important consideration for us, that what will you think at the time of death depends on what you have done all through your life. If all through our life, if we have only maintained the family and then earned livelihood for the family and took care of your family members, there is a great likelihood that we'll remember our family members than anything else. Not great likelihood, it is certain. But if we have practiced remembering Krishna, or while remembering Krishna, practicing detachment, actual detachment is caring without attachment is detachment. Caring without attachment means you do the needful, but you don't force that person. You will do the needful for that person. Try to tell that person this is the right thing to do, this is not the right thing to do. And then as much as possible you tell them that in spite of that, if they turn out to be something else, you can't do anything about it. But if you're obsessed with those people, that they must listen to me, they must do everything what I say, then that is a very attached situation. And in that attached situation, we'll make mistakes. We will force the people to accept what we say. But that is taking the position of the Lord. I am the master, and those who are dependent on me must listen to me. That is what most of the men try to do. They try to force their family members, force the wife, force the children to accept things which they consider to be right, or reject things which they consider to be wrong. But this is a very dictatorship. Dictatorship is not simply stating what is right or what is wrong. Dictatorship is forcing people to do things which they may not want to do. So, attachment means this becoming the controller. And when you become attached, obviously the result is very bad. Whomever you are attached, you will become that. Puranjana became very attached to his wife. And which way he became attached? He wanted to maintain them. He was the maintainer of the family. He thought he is the maintainer of the family. Please understand, whether you live or don't live, your family will be maintained. Because actual maintainer is Krishna. How many families have come onto the road when they're the only bread earner left the body? It's all projected in the newspapers to attract some kind of sympathy. Actually speaking, if you closely, microscopically, if you see God is the ultimate maintainer. So, even if somebody who is a bread earner in the family left the body, somebody else will take care of them. Some relationship, some uncle, some auntie, some friend, somebody will come forward to make sure that they at least have enough food to eat and proper clothing and proper shelter. There is no doubt about it. We must be fully convinced about it. Because Krishna is the real caretaker. All insufficiencies, all deficiencies, only because you are not allowing Krishna to take care and someone else to take care. That is where deficiencies are there. Artificially, you try to become a caretaker for someone, you will definitely not be able to satisfy those people. Because you are not the original caretaker. Original caretaker is Krishna. So, then why am I there? What should I do? What should I do? If Krishna is the caretaker, what is my service? Your service is to make them realize that Krishna is the caretaker. That is your service. So facilitates Krishna's mercy in their life. Make them understand, I am not the caretaker, Krishna is the caretaker. So while you may be grateful to me, but you must surrender to Krishna. That is the proper service of a husband or a father or whoever it is. If they don't do such service, they'll end up like Puranjana. They'll just become very, very attached to the wife. Either, attachment, don't think that attachment is bad and aversion is also bad. Both are the sides of the same coin. Attachment and aversion. Some people are very attached to the wife. Some people are very averse to the wife. Averse to the wife means, today I am suffering like this only because of my wife. Had I not married her, my life would have been very nice. And thinking like this, you die. And what will you become? A woman only. So don't think that, I should not be attached to my wife. So from the beginning, I will be hateful towards my wife. I will practice hatred towards my wife so that I will not be attached. Then you will definitely become a woman in the next life. Definitely. So you can't escape these things. Attachment or aversion, both are two sides of the same coin. So what should we do? We should not be attached, we should not be averse, we should be detached. And detachment means care with knowledge. You do properly, care the women, care the wife and children properly as Krishna's gifts for you. Then you can facilitate that Krishna consciousness in their life. So the problem with Puranjana is this, and Puranjana is none other than all of us. So that is the point that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this. He's saying that this is a very dangerous situation. What is a dangerous situation? This causes husband to become attached to his wife, and consequently he thinks of his wife very much at the end of death. This is a very dangerous situation, as is evident from the life of King Puranjana. If one thinks of his wife instead of Krishna at the time of death, he will certainly not return home back to Godhead. So one great opportunity missed out. What is that opportunity? In the human form of life, there is a great facility to think of Krishna, go back home, back to Godhead, and that human form is gone because you are attached to an opposite sex. Don't think that you will become a human lady. You may become a feminine person. It is not necessary that you become a human lady. At least human lady, there is a advantage. Because you are thinking of your wife, you will become a female. You may become a bird female, cat female, dog female, any female you may become. Not necessary that you will become a human female. Human female, there is advantage. Because still it is a human form of life. You can still comprehend Krishna consciousness. But the danger is that you may not get that human form of life if you are attached to a woman. attached to your wife. So then somebody may question the opposite now. What is the opposite? If the wife thinks of the husband, because she is very chaste, she served her husband very nicely. So wife thinks of the husband. According to the scripture, she will receive a male body. Right? So is it good or not? It is better. But again, you may not receive human male body. You may receive again I'm not striking off the possibility of human male body. You may get, you may not get also. But still it is considered to be good because from a female body to male body coming is advancement, is considered to be advancement because there is a greater possibility of comprehension. In a human male body, there is a greater possibility of comprehension. What is that comprehension? You can think of higher things. A women's world is always thinking of her own family and then children and all that. That is in general. Isn't it? Everyone agrees with this. A man's thinking is not necessarily limited to the family. He can sometimes think of higher things. We have had many freedom fighters, Bhagat Singh or Gandhiji or many such great freedom fighters who left their families, who did not care for their family. Bhagat Singh was a very young boy. He saw the 1919 massacre and then some emotion came in. And that was the time where his parents were about to marry him to a girl. In fact, there was an alliance and both the would-be husband and wife spoke to each other. She has already developed some kind of attachment for Bhagat Singh. But then when this massacre happened, he could not tolerate it and he just gave up and then went for freedom fighting. So which is thinking above the thinking, more than the family situation. He thought that no, India is my family. So I must fight for India's independence. So we have seen so many people, especially not necessarily only male, sometimes female also, but generally we find that, male thinking is little more than the family. It is not limited to the family. Society, caste, creed, nationality, humanity, all these things are there. They think of all these things. But generally, women's world is her own family. That is their, that is their nature. God has created female for that way. God has created a male in this way. So that is why it is said, a female gets a male body is considered to be progress because there is a scope to think higher. Is it better to promote from an animal life to a human life? Definitely. Why it is better? What is the logic behind it? Animal thinking is ahara nidra bhayamaitunamcha. That are all thinking, eating, mating, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's all the animal thinking is. But human thinking is a little better than that. That you can think dharmo hi eko adhiko visesho. So you can become, you can think of dharma when you come to a human platform. So it is definitely progress. So in the same way, when you are in a woman body, your thinking is limited to the family. When you come to a male body, you can think little higher things. In general, there may be exceptions. Please, I'm not making any distinctions here. Oh, he's saying he's talking about males like this, female like this, he's making discrimination. Please don't think. None of us are neither ever be male or female. We are not going to be in this body forever. Please understand. For some time we are in this body and then we may get another body, another body, another body. So it is not taking sides, political sides of female side or male side. We are analyzing from the Shastric viewpoint. Why King Puranjana becoming a woman is not a good thing? Because he has degraded his consciousness Possibly he could have thought about God. Possibly he could have thought about anybody else. But because of always thinking about his wife and children, he degraded his consciousness. And in the next life, he becomes a woman. So expand your consciousness. Always think beyond your family. Because we are all one family in that sense. Krishna's family. Vasudhaika Kutumbam. Everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. And because of this selfishness only, so much of suffering is there in the society. Everybody, everyone is trying to build a wall. If you see in the structures that are being made, the maximum amount of space is gone for building walls only. If you break all the walls, let us say, you get so much space. Am I right or wrong? So much space. So most of the space is gone for building walls. And why are you building walls? Because of the separatist mentality. I am this, you are that. And this separatist mentality is so much. I've recently heard that India, and all the countries in the world, India is the only country who has the longest hostile border. And to maintain that hostile border, they have to pump in so much of money, which could have been used for the growth of the people of India. GDP could have increased much more if the borders were not hostile. Longest hostile border. You understand what is the longest hostile border? That means you have a very, very provoking enemy in the next to you. So one side Pakistan, another side Nepal. Nepal also gone a little hostile with. And the biggest one is China. So all the whole border is so many kilometers of border. If you want to protect your sovereignty, you have to deploy so many soldiers. And to maintain the soldiers in such difficult conditions, you require to pump in a lot of money to give them comfort. Had you been friendly with them, what happened? You would not have to spend so much of money. The same money could have spent for the development of the people. So same way, just think about it. I'm talking about in a country. We are talking about even in a family also. A family of people who are cooperating with each other is much better, much happier family than a family of people who are quarreling with each other. That can happen in a family, that can happen in a society, a caste, creed, religion. Any of these people can cooperate with each other and break these walls of separation. When you break the walls of separation, you live happily. And what is the source of all this separatist mentality? Selfishness. Family. My family. My family. Your family is different. My family is different. We are all one family, Krishna's family. And so-called your family is not going to be permanent. Each member of your family is going to go one day or the other. Then what happens to your family? There is no family. So this family concept is actually a myth, to be honest, from a very large perspective, Krishna conscious perspective. So we are expected to hear from scriptures and develop that kind of large-heartedness, selflessness. Be useful to the society. Don't become selfish. You don't become a great man or great woman by being selfish. So, spiritual elevation start with selflessness. And that selflessness, if you show from perspective of Krishna consciousness, then you become a great personality. You will become actually a devotee of Krishna. Devotee of Krishna does not make any difference with this person or that person. Nowadays, a lot of Hindu fervor has come into the country also these days, which is not very good thing. Awakening should come, but not fervor. Fervor is very dangerous. You know what is a fervor? Fervor is a kind of a fever, you can say. Fever should be 98.4. More fever is dangerous. Nationalism is good only to develop the country. Nationalism at the cost of hating others is very dangerous. We have built Ram Mandir, we are proud of that. Very good, nice. Let that Ram change the hearts of everyone. Let everyone change. Now that we are going to get these fellows out of the country. This mentality is dangerous. Because this is the same extended selfishness. So that kind of a fervor is very dangerous fervor. They have destroyed all our things, ancient things, so we must destroy them. This is dangerous. See, it's a very subtle thing. Very, very subtle thing. We have to be careful. Our love for someone should not become a hatred for someone else. That is very, very dangerous. Love is a very wonderful thing. But selfish love leads to hatred. Only love towards Krishna will give rise to, love for others. If you love Krishna, you will love others. But if you love anybody other than Krishna, then most likely you will hate someone else. I am an Indian, I am a proud Indian, I love my country. Then you will not love your border who is hostile. I don't love China, I don't love Pakistan, I don't love this and that. That is not a very good thing. That is not conducive for Krishna consciousness. Just like Puranjana became a woman because of attachment or hatred. Similarly, you become a very great attached nationalist. Mera Bharat Mahan, Pakistan Murdabad. Next life you will be Pakistani. 100% guaranteed. What happened to your slogan? Then you will hate India. Then you will become an Indian again. So, idhar, udhar, idhar, udhar. Brahmande Brahmite kone bhagyavan jeev. Like that, A Brahma Bhuvanar Loka. So instead of Bhuvanar Loka, A Brahma Bharat Pakistan Loka, Punaravartino Arjuna. That is what it will become. That is what hatred will bring. Don't hate anyone. You may be attached to someone, you may love someone. Don't let it turn into be hatred. That is dangerous. That is what Bhagavatam is teaching us, and we should be wary of that. We should be very careful about it. Don't let it turn into hatred towards anyone. You can be attached to anyone, that's nice. Attachment is good. Attachment to Krishna is good. But don't hate anyone. Okay, already a lot of time. I'll take in. Anyone has any question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Envious work and even destroying our deities and etc. Sorry.
So his question is that, someone is destroying the temples, destroying, all these things.
Yes, sir.
Should we not hate such a person? Is that your question?
Yeah, that naturally we get
We get anger.
Yeah, we get anger sometimes.
Yeah.
So you told example of Bhagavad Singh. He went extremely to that side, leaving his family well far away. What is his position then? And what is the normal people like me? I don't know. I get emotional when this type of things.
We get tears in our eyes because of what? Because of somebody destroying our. By hearing that, temples are destroyed or, or Hindus are killed or whatever it is, because of which we get emotional. What am I supposed to do? I cannot become like Bhagat Singh. So what am I supposed to do? That's your question, right? Yeah. See, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has told one important lesson.
Hare Krishna.
Don't worry about it. This is now audible. Question, I have repeated it. So he has taught one important lesson. I'll tell you what that lesson is. Anger is very dangerous because anger is a very destructive thing. There are three things which leads us to hell. One of them, kama, krodha, and lobha. These are the three gateways to hell. And krodha, amongst the three, krodha is more dangerous. So once you get into krodha, viveka, you're gone. So it's very dangerous to get into that level of krodha. So only the brake that you can apply on krodha, Bhaktisiddhanta said, who is the object of anger? You are the object of anger. That means you should show that krodha towards yourself. So if you say someone has destroyed our temples or whatever it is, maybe our people were not properly protecting them, properly executing dharma properly, they have neglected it. That is why it got to a situation where someone else can come and create such a situation. That is the reason. Had I been a follower of dharma, why would anyone today? Hinduism is most vulnerable for conversion. You know why? Hindus are the most vulnerable for conversion into Christianity or into Islam. You know why? Because Hindus do not follow anything. That is the reason. So should we blame the Christians and Muslims for this, or should we blame the Indians for this? Hindus for this. Hindus. Because you gave opportunity for someone to encroach your property. You have not fenced properly. That is why you have given that opportunity. Similarly, when we are not properly practicing our own dharma, then you are giving opportunity for someone to attack you. So it's easy to hate someone, but it is not so easy to introspect on ourselves that, I have not properly followed, that is why this has happened. So that is why Bhaktisiddhanta said the first object of anger is oneself. Direct the anger to yourself. Had I been, following this properly, this situation only would not have arisen. So I must punish myself. So let me become properly Krishna conscious. This is a proper usage of anger. Otherwise, this anger is destructive. Because generally anger is born out of envy and unfulfilled desire. So it is very destructive. But if you direct that anger towards you, you will not become very, very explosive. You will, because it's you. You love yourself very much than anybody else. Isn't it? If you wanted to burn something, you will throw petrol like anything. But if you have to burn yourself with that petrol, half-heartedly you will be putting 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drops. Fear is there, no? Same thing, anger is also like that. If you have to throw anger on others, abundantly you will show anger. But if you have to show anger on yourself, you will be careful. So there is a control. Controlled anger is good. Uncontrolled anger is very bad. So that is why Bhaktisiddhanta said, you turn that anger, or you divert that anger towards yourself. Then you become a better practitioner. Then things will change. Krishna will finally make difference. Muslims can't do anything. Christians can't do anything. Krishna can do anything. Always remember. Always remember this. So we must act in a way that Krishna is pleased with us. Then whatever needs to be done, that will be done. Any other question? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Give
Krishna.
that person after that.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Who has
Hare
the mic?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Many times if someone of our family dies, I feel like no one can die, because in Bhagavad Gita Krishna has said that Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledyanti apo, na shoshati maruta. If I try to tell that to in my family, they will say that he is an emotionless fellow, he does not understand anything. So how to deal in that?
Why you want to tell others? You practice yourself, no?
No, sometimes they will ask me like, you don't have any emotion, you don't even cry for anyone.
Well, you don't have to demonstrate your emotions in front of everyone and then overly sobbing, isn't it natural for us if someone dear leaves us? Do we not get emotional? What happens? All that you have spent with that person will come like a reel in front of you. No matter how spiritually elevated you are, you will become emotional if you actually loved them. Knowledge is not to make us emotionless. Knowledge is to make us properly emotional. You understand? We are not like Mayavadis. Jagat Mithya. Anything happens, doesn't matter, Jagat Mithya. Then I'll give you one slap on your face. That also you should say Jagat Mithya. That they will not. They will react to that. When it comes to you, you have a different emotion. When it comes to other, you are emotional less. This is not Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is showing appropriate emotion. So that is why Arjuna, showing that emotion towards his son when he left his body, was appropriate, even though he heard Bhagavad Gita. So don't think that we become numb people when you get knowledge. Knowledge is supposed to give us feelings, but feelings for eternal things, feelings for Krishna. There's two things. One is don't try to preach this to others without you properly realizing it. You practice yourself. Foolish people may say many things that no, he doesn't have any emotions, this and that. You are not. Krishna knows you know. Your heart is there, Krishna is there in your heart. So don't worry. Don't worry about others too much. All right? Last question here. Give it here. Here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranams.
Somehow it is not working. You speak louder. I will repeat it.
How can we, maintain that love towards them, but at the same time, realize on a day-to-day basis that Krishna is maintaining us, and Krishna is our family member, he's also showing that love.
Being in a dependent position to our family members, how can we show love towards them, at the same time understand that actually Krishna is maintaining? Is that the question? Yeah. How can we do anything? We can do anything by practicing it. You can't swim in the air. You can only swim in the water. Similarly, you wanted to develop something, you have to practice it. First you have that knowledge. When you hear, you have that knowledge, and you try to apply that knowledge. Because life will give so many circumstances to us to apply that knowledge. So you don't have to be hopeless because you are not able to act on that knowledge every time. But wait for the next instance where you can act on that knowledge. And then that act on that knowledge will make you a realized person. And when the realization grows, you become very strong internally. So we must understand this is the truth, whether you like it or not. That's why I said truth is bitter. The truth is that Krishna is the maintainer. Nobody else is the maintainer. If one falsely thinks that he is the maintainer, he will have to be disappointed. That is the truth. So, today or tomorrow we have to realize this fact that Krishna is the maintainer. Krishna says that. Suhridam sarvabhutanam bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim ruchati. One who knows this truth, he will be peaceful. Otherwise, your life is full of anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. What is that anxiety? You wanted to save someone, you don't have power to save someone. You cannot do that because Krishna is already doing it. You cannot replace Krishna. You try to do that, but you'll be frustrated. Don't even try to do that. Do your duty. There are duties assigned to us. I'm not saying don't do anything. Krishna is the maintainer. Krishna is the maintainer. Krishna is the maintainer. Krishna consciousness is a very scientific process. God helps those who help themselves. You make one step towards Krishna, Krishna will make 100 steps. I made already one step. Krishna said, I already made 100 steps. Oh, what should I do, my dear Krishna? Take one more step. You take one more step and Krishna will make 100 more steps. Till how long should I do? You go on doing it. Is there ever a possibility that I can touch you? Krishna says no. If I touch you or you touch me, you will stop moving. That is why I will not make sure that you ever touch me. So you make progress and Krishna moves. And the distance will always remain there. Some distance will always be there. Because if the distance khatam ho jayega na, then what happens? You think you have already reached the goal and you will stop endeavoring for it. So Krishna can never be caught. You can always run behind Krishna, and that is perfection of life. You can never catch Krishna. Like Mother Yashoda, she could not catch Krishna. Isn't it? When she was chasing Krishna, she could not catch Krishna. So when she finally gave up the hope that I can never be able to catch Krishna, that's when Krishna allowed to be caught by her. So this is what is Krishna consciousness is. You make an endeavor, Krishna will make his endeavor from his side. And that is proper way of doing things. Not recklessly, carelessly, everything is done by Krishna. Then you don't eat food. That is also done by Krishna. You simply sit. Right? Food will come walking like this, enter into your mouth, and then it will get digested. You don't make any endeavor. Because that same thing has to be applied on you also. No? You give a lecture about everything is maintained by Krishna, but you chew the food. You sit on the line for, prasadam. This is a double standard. So that means what? Krishna will move when you move. You make an endeavor, Krishna will come towards you. You stop making endeavor, Krishna will stop. And you make the endeavor and you see Krishna coming. It's a very excitement, great excitement. You feel great excitement that Krishna is coming towards you. And those who do not make such endeavors, they'll see Krishna is there, or even if he's there, he's not moving. You develop doubts on Krishna. Whether Krishna is merciful to me? Krishna is merciful to you. How do you know? You move, he will move. Then you know Krishna is merciful to you. Alright? Alright. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam.